YouTube. I wanted to start this video off by saying, whoa, I had no idea so many people would watch that last video I did about the 5 reasons I moved to Tanzania. I was like, okay. So I just wanted to jump on here first off and say thank you so much for watching that video. Thank you to all the people who liked it, and thank you to all the people who commented on it, bringing positive energy, and all the people welcoming me to Africa, Tanzania. It was such a cool surprise to see all the love that I got in the comment section from that video. So thank you guys so much. I feel like so yeah, thank you. What else? I guess that's it. This video is going to be about my experience moving here. Literally the day I left Chicago, Illinois in the United States and traveled here to Tanzania. So let's see. The day I left, it was early August, and I was moving out of my apartment. So literally I was packing and cleaning the last bit of stuff, like Sunday night all the way till Monday morning, like 6 a.m. I'm cleaning, I'm still packing, and that's the exact morning I was set to move out of my apartment and at the same time move to Africa. So I was packing, cleaning, all that good stuff, and finally I got done and went down to the management office and dropped off my key, and literally got all my suitcases and called an Uber in Chicago, and pretty much called an Uber in Chicago and had him take me to the airport. It's really windy out here, so I'm trying to do this video because I need to do it today because I work tomorrow. So I'm like, oh, anyways. So got in the Uber, and basically, how do I say this? So I was born in Chicago, but I didn't really grow up there. My adolescent years, I started off growing up in Africa for a little bit, then we moved to France, then we moved back to the US, and I got to live my adolescent years, teenage years, and beyond, you know, college and all that in Atlanta. So I kind of grew up in Atlanta during those very important years of a preteen and teenager's life. So I said that to say that I am really happy that we got to do that, because Atlanta is like my spirit animal. I'm obsessed with Atlanta. I love my experience, and I graduated from high school, went to college in Atlanta, and that experience was like no other. Like being a young black person in Atlanta, especially during that time, going to college, like HBCUs, which stands for historically black colleges and universities. I actually didn't necessarily go. I didn't attend an HBCU, but I attended a university called Georgia State University, and we pretty much created our own HBCU within that university and hung out with all of the real HBCU kids. They came to our parties. We went to their parties. They were on our campus all the time. We were on their campus all the time. And Atlanta is just like a hub for young black people who want to be successful, and they're all kind of grinding, trying to be successful. And I love trying to manifest my dreams and be successful, and as a black person, to have other black people with you trying to all do the same thing in the same community, it's a really cool thing to be a part of. So I said that to say that I never, like, I moved to Chicago for family reasons, but I never really like loved Chicago. I was so obsessed with Atlanta, and I still loved Atlanta so much. But I can say that when I was moving out and hopping in that Uber and leaving downtown, I was just kind of like, I'm gonna miss you, Chicago. You know, I was so sad. So yeah, I guess I ended up liking Chicago a little. I mean, the people, you know, my friends, family who were there, I missed them, I love them, you know, but like Chicago itself, it's just very different from Atlanta. That's all I'm saying. So anyways, back to the story at hand. I'm in an Uber, we go to the airport, O'Hare in Chicago, O-R-D, and my mom, she was doing the same thing. She lived 7 hours south of Chicago, Illinois, while she was down in Southern Illinois getting her PhD, which she had just received like a month prior. So congratulations again, Mom. Woo! data science, engineering, woohoo. So she got that, and she ended up selling all her stuff as well and moving out so we could go together. So she had already gotten to the airport, and she was doing all her stuff at the airport while I was, you know, doing the last minute cleaning and stuff and moving out of my apartment. So I got in an Uber, went to the airport. She was already there, got there, and I guess everybody wants to know, did I have to take the test? So drum rolls. I don't know, because I got to tell you what happened. So I get there, I'm about to check in, and I see like these suitcases and stuff while I'm about to stand in line, and I'm like, this coffee cup, this Starbucks cup looks awfully familiar. And I was like, who else could have this same cup? Like, my mom had this cup for like so many years, and I was like, oh, maybe this is my mom's, but I didn't see her anywhere. So I was like, I don't know. And then somebody is taking forever at the counter, and they don't look happy, and that's when I realized, oh, that's my mom. So I'm like, okay. So I go up there, and she's like looking real mad. So I'm like, oh shit, I am not in the mood for Sherry Humadi's madness. It is too crazy, it's too intense. I am not in the mood. So then I don't know why I said that, because I ended up being the one who got really mad. And I'm Aries, just like Sherry Humadi, so we're pretty much the same. So I get to the counter, and the girl is saying, so the lady checking her in, she's like, yeah, no, sorry, no. And I'm like, no, what? So my mom said that she asked the question as she was checking in, have you taken a test in the last 72 hours? My mom was cut off guard because she was like, she didn't. And so she was like, no. And she was like, oh, you need the test in order to travel to Tanzania. And then my mom was like, no, that's not true. And then I was like, no, that's not true. Like, literally, we were trying to stay up to date with all of the travel requirements every single day. So as she's saying that, she says, like, she's looking on her own little computer, and she's saying that she sees where we need a test. And so I'm like, looking on my phone, and I'm like, okay, let me go to the site. And so I go to Tanzania, the immigration.tz website that gives you all of the travel guidelines for Tanzania. So I see on there that they haven't updated anything about this Rona since April, which is their like main stuff that they put out. So I was like, where do you see this, lady? Like, where are you seeing that we now are required to take a test? And so she says, oh, the communication just came out about it this morning. And I'm like, this morning? It's still this morning. What are you talking about? Like, it is 8 o'clock in the morning. So what time in the morning did this come out? And she's like, I don't know, but it came out this morning. The earliest it could have came out, what, is like an hour ago? So I was like, so you mean to tell me whatever you're reading, you're saying that you see that it is required for us to take a test and get a negative result in order to travel today, and this just came out today? And she was like, yes. I was like, no, that doesn't sound normal. There's no grace period. Like, the people who already purchased their tickets and are literally flying out today in a few hours should be able to still leave, and that rule should actually, you know, be for people in the future, even if it's like 3 days in the future, but not like immediately 1 hour after it just came out. And so she was like, no, sorry, these are the rules. So I'm Googling on my phone, where does it say this? And then I see a site, and it was actually the U.S. Embassy within Tanzania, in this country. The U.S. Embassy down the street, they're the ones who put out this communication on their website saying that we now are required to take a test and get a negative result in order to travel to Tanzania. But Tanzania itself, on their website, they were not saying that. They didn't say anything about that. So she wouldn't let us fly. She would not let us board. She would not check us in. She was like, you guys can go take the test and then come back, and then you can fly. So I'm like, are you serious? Like, both of us have moved out of our homes. The family that we do have in Chicago lived so far out, and we were just like, we were already, like, we had a lot of suitcases. Like, in between both of us, we had at least 9 suitcases. So, and they were all overweight and heavy. because we pretty much like sold everything to like move and come to another country. So I mean, we were literally moving here, so it was a lot of stuff. So we were like, what should we do? So she didn't let us travel. We had to like walk away with all these thousands of suitcases. We sat down, and the lady was trying to be nice, the check-in lady. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't say this. We were flying with Delta, okay? So Delta with a connection in Amsterdam and then to Tanzania. So she walked from behind the counter. She was trying to be kind and nice about it, and she was trying to tell us her family stories about how, yeah, her husband is this and that, and he has to get tested a lot, so she understands. It's very frustrating, but the rules are that if she sees that on the website, she has to enforce the rules. That's what she was saying. So she was like, just try to call some testing centers, you know, here's some places you might want to try to call. And she tried to be really sweet, so I appreciate that. Maybe she was just doing her job. So we sit there and we start calling testing centers. So we're calling all these places, and most of them are not even testing other than Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays in the morning. And I was like really surprised to hear that. So one of the people at one of the testing centers was like, yeah, we're only open Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. And honestly, it's also by walk-in instead of appointment. So a lot of people are actually standing in line around the block, like a long, you know, thing around the block, waiting to be tested already at 8 a.m. So if you want to get here and be in the pool to be tested, you really need to be here like at 6 or 7 waiting to stand in line to be tested. And I was just like, what? People want to get tested? What is happening? I was just kind of like, you're lying. And she was like, nope, that's how it is. And I was like, this is so weird. I'm living in a twilight zone. So she was like, the price was like, I think something like $170 something. There were even other testing centers that had even more expensive tests. So after calling around a lot of places, me and my mom, we were like, okay, the testing facilities are only open Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. It was Monday morning already, and that meant if we wanted to get the test, we would have to wait until Wednesday to get the test because everybody was already booked all up that Monday. So the airline said they would not reissue our tickets until we took that test. So that meant we couldn't fly out Monday, we couldn't fly out Tuesday, and we could possibly fly out Wednesday if we had taken the test and then called the airlines and tried to book and hope that there were some seats available to fly out that afternoon or evening. So what we decided to do, since we had so many suitcases, was go to a nearby hotel that I had points at. So it was like, okay, cool, at least I have points somewhere to use. So we went to this hotel, and we had so many suitcases, and it was just 2 girls with all these heavy over capacity suitcases, and it was just a lot. I mean, we ended up, you know, getting SUV Ubers, and the drivers, you know, obviously helped us with the suitcases, but it was such an ordeal. We were just like, oh my gosh, please. So we get to the hotel, and I had to say, Mom, I was just on my phone calling testing centers to try to make it look like I really cared, but I really did not care because I am not getting tested. I don't know what we're gonna have to do, but I am not getting tested. Like, sorry. At that point in the very beginning of August, where we decided to try to get out of the country before they started truly mandating all of these procedures, I was like, this is not fair. I did what I had to do to get out early so we wouldn't have to deal with this, and you mean to tell me that they're making us deal with this? And I don't understand how this is even happening because the main website of Tanzania is not even saying that we have to take this test before we even get there. So I was just like, no, I'm not taking the test. So she pretty much felt the same, and we ended up still calling around, still trying to figure out what we could do. And so we decided to basically stay in Chicago for 2 days, and then on Tuesday we called the airline and just told them, hey, we took the test, can we rebook our tickets? They were able to do so, and they said, okay, come, you know, your tickets are now for Wednesday morning. So we were like, cool. So again, were we required to take the test? I guess they told us we were, but we didn't. So I don't know. So we Wednesday, we actually get this company to help us take all the suitcases to the airport so we can have a more seamless travel experience than we had started off with on Monday. I feel like we both felt like we had kind of been through a lot. It was just real stressful, so it was cool to have someone help us to take all those suitcases to the airport and bring them right to check-in. If you're in Chicago and you're about to come here or go anywhere, feel free to ask me in the comment section for their info, and I'll be happy to give it to you, because that really just, it wasn't even expensive, and it really was a huge help. So basically we get to the airport and ta-da, we actually see that same ass lady. So she's all like, hi, and we're like, hi. So we go up there, she's like, so you guys took the test? And we were like, yep. And it was a huge risk, because she could have in that moment asked to see the test. And we went up there hoping, you know, because we did some research at the hotel, and we heard that certain people were asking people for their tests and stuff at the airport, but certain people weren't getting asked. And the people that were getting asked, they weren't asking for any proof. So it was a risk that we took. When we got there, it was a risk, but we basically said, yep, we took the test. And she was like, okay, great, and checked our bags in and moved us right along. So she asked if we took the test, and we said yes, and she did not check. So were we required to take it? They said we were. Did we actually take it? No. Hell no. Ain't nobody finna be touching on me. The fuck do I look like? So whatever. But I would like to say this. I have to be honest and say this and put this little interjection in to this video. I was thinking about it yesterday and looking at some stuff online, and right now today, what's today? We're like in the middle of September at this point. More and more airlines, airports, countries are now requiring that you have a negative test in order to enter. So at this point, things are only going to get worse with restrictions and mandates. Nothing is about to let up or get easier. Any country that's saying that they're requiring testing for something, they are not about to stop and go back and now say, okay, no more testing, just come in. That's not even going to be a possibility anymore in this world. It's not. So I would say at this point, if I were in the US and it is in the middle of September and most places are now trying to at least mandate testing, I would have to say that I would have to take the risk and get tested